I saw a couple of figures, both of which were denied over the weekend then. £46 billion, £50 billion. These numbers keep on coming, don't they? How big is the divorce bill going to be? And the UK government isn't going to say right now.
Absolutely, they're holding that card close to their chest, denying even that there's an internal calculation that's been made. The reports are nonsense and silly, according to David Davis, the Brexit secretary. So they certainly don't want to put a number down in the fear that that will be shot at. They want to kind of link the payment to almost what they get, whereas the Europeans want to link the payment to what has already been signed up to.
Charles, on the subject of this divorce bill, I've seen a couple of strategies mentioned here. I know Bruegel has been talking about sending this to some kind of arbitration, suggesting why doesn't the UK say we need an independent arbitrator and kind of get it off the agenda that way, send it externally. Others have suggested, well, actually, the UK just wants to keep trying to tie this into the future relationship, and that's more likely. Where do you think that goes?
Well, there are all sorts of ways of wrapping it to make it seem acceptable to the British public, because they don't think people, when they voted leave, expected to pay such a large sum to leave the European Union. But what seems clear to me is that finally the cabinet in the UK has accepted that they will have to pay something, and what they're trying to do is, when the news actually hits that we will be paying something to leave the European Union, there's at least some semblance that we'll have a trade deal or some transition which will tide the UK over until the negotiations are over. So the whole problem, I suppose, is that the EU wants to do this consecutively, but to get the UK to accept this, we need to give some sort of an idea that we're heading to a transition.
It's pretty difficult for the UK Foreign Secretary, is it, to travel the country on a bus during the campaign, arguing about the amount of money that was going to come back to the UK as a result of Brexit, I suppose?
Difficult, but your viewers have probably noticed that Boris Johnson doesn't really have much to do with these Brexit negotiations. He's been quite quiet on Brexit, perhaps for that reason.